even if you watch our usual Bollywood or Hollywood movies, you love your heroes, don't you? Do you know why? Because you relate with them. You see yourself in them. You think of yourself as that guy who has gone through a lot of bad stuff in his life, whether it's his personal or professional life. Take, for example, our Superman. How he was leading a miserable life ever since he was a small kid, until he realized his true potential. I agree it's important not to overestimate yourself, but it's also important not to underestimate what you could be. People have been pushing this concept of self-esteem for a very long time, that you should be content with what you have, where you are, the way you are. If you're miserable in a situation, accept it. If you've had an unfortunate experience and lost all honor and strength, consider it like God's will and accept it. But I'll say no. Why should you accept things? You have absolutely no idea what you could be. You are nowhere near where you could be, not even close. No one knows what you could be, not even God knows. You still don't know what your limits are. You have seen nothing yet in your life. Even those people, probably in their 60s or 70s, man, you still have a long way to go. You still have a lot to see and experience, and a lot more to understand and learn. So there's another message for you guys. Don't underestimate your now, but don't underestimate your future self as well. You have so much influence as an individual that if you put your mind and conscience into all of that, you can't believe what you could become. There isn't anything that has more power than you putting your conscience into something. You must have heard of the sages walking on water. That's not a miracle, so to say. It's the hidden potential that you never tapped into. You are capable of all possible miracles and more than that. The only thing that is holding you back is that you believe that your misery is larger and more powerful than you. How can you give up on yourself? You have all the power to put things right around you. Develop a noble vision. Put things that you've thought of into practice. Develop some discipline. Familiarize yourself with the great works of people who could do despite all odds, not that their pain and suffering was less. Take inspiration from those. Learn to communicate, learn to think, because majority of our miseries are because we fail to think in a way that takes us out of the shell of our miseries. You've got to do a lot of things in the world. Absence of your full being and absence of your full conscious participation in this world is going to leave a lot of void in this world, which will later be filled with terrible things like greed, tyranny, selfishness. All of this is going to engulf the world in ways you can't even imagine. So it's your ethical responsibility to show up. You must be hurting deep inside. You must be ill. You must be weak. You must have lost family, lost love. Despite all of that, you still have to rise up to the expectation that the world has of you. They won't tell you. Nobody's going to tell you. But you have to recognize the opportunity. When the opportunity demands of you to be present and take responsibility of this world, it would be preposterous to turn your head away. It's your responsibility to make sure that the world doesn't devolve into something close to hell. And it's your ethical duty to do everything in your power to make things as good as you can possibly make them, in a sophisticated and graceful manner that takes you and your family and the community into account. And that is going to give meaning to your life. The price that you pay to gain meaning in your life that transcends tragedy is the adoption of responsibility for this world. That's what ennobles you. It makes you into something strong and competent and someone who is worthwhile and lives in a manner that justifies your own suffering. There is nothing better than that you can possibly do.